Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. A happy Janmashtami to all of you. Hare Krishna. And today we are going to be talking about two incidents. What's happening in Pakistan, and more importantly, has the relationship between the United States and Pakistan soured? Soured a lot, I must say, because by the time I'm done with this monologue and you hear it, you will understand why I'm saying that things have taken a decidedly downward turn. First, a request to all of you to please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel. Now, we have a small slide deck through which I'm going to walk you through what happened in Pakistan today through a series of attacks called as Operation Herof. Operation Herof, what exactly was this? This is the premier brigade of the Baloch Liberation Army that has carried out this attacks in various parts in Balochistan. In fact, there's one place called BLA where they claim that they have complete control of even the army outpost. The army of Pakistan has been quiet so far, except one or two mentions, but what has happened is nothing short of mayhem. Here we list to you what are all the things that happened. There are two BLA of commanders who gave up their lives. Again, one woman shaheed, and they were responsible for one of the attacks, and I'm going to show you that this is essentially a suicide attack. The BLA's Majid Brigade released the images of two suicide attackers who drove an explosives-laden vehicle into a security forces camp in Lasbela. Among the attackers is a woman. This is the third suicide bombing. This is the third suicide bombing by a Baloch woman since April 2022. We all know that Baloch are not very populous. Therefore, now they are actually starting to add their women also in their freedom struggle. And if you take a look at this video, you will understand how complete the decimation has been. So let's go to the next slide. Here is the statement released by the Baloch Liberation Army, and I'm going to try and read it because it makes compelling reading. Under the Baloch Liberation Army Fidayeen Operation Herof, the Fidayeen unit of BLA's Majid Brigade attacked occupying forces Bela camp. You saw that, killing over 40 military personnel so far and holding control of a significant portion of the camp for the last 6 hours, while continuing to advance against the enemy. The Majid Brigade of the BLA detonated two explosives-laden vehicles at the camp's main entrance and nearby security posts, destroying them. Following this, the Herof Fidayeen unit of Majid Brigade entered the camp with killing more than 40 military personnel and successfully taking control of a large part of the camp. All the Fidayeen are still safe and in contact with us. During this time, a military convoy arriving to reinforce the troops inside the camp was forced to retreat after being attacked by the Fidayeen. Meanwhile, all highways across Balochistan have been seized by the BLA's Fatah Squad STOS by setting up checkpoints. So far, 62 personnel have been killed in the blockade and clashes with the military, bringing the total number of enemy military personnel killed to 102, while over 22 military, police and levies personnel are in BLA custody. 102 people killed and 22 in custody. That shows you the magnitude of the attack. But more importantly, before we go to the next slide, I want to ask you all some questions. Is there somebody inside the Pakistani establishment that is giving accurate information to the BLA? Is there a group of Faiz Hamid which is still active inside the ISI, which perhaps is helping the Baloch Liberation Army? Remember, I told you Faiz Hamid has been arrested, probably going to go through a court martial, and 3 other senior officers were arrested. So far 4 arrested. But ISI is a large organization. How else would the BLA be able to know exactly which path the Pakistani army was taking? More importantly, the BLA doesn't have satellite information. From the way they have responded here, it almost gives us the impression that somebody had actually used satellites to track the path of these people, these armed forces, so that the BLA was well prepared to ward them off. Who is that someone? To answer that question, I'm going to answer that question towards the end of this presentation by giving you some more data. Hopefully, you will arrive at the same conclusion as I. Next slide, please. Now, that's just BLA thus far. Now, we have several other places where attacks have happened. In Sibi district, train tracks near 𝗣𝗚𝗍𝗍 were destroyed in an explosion. Similar attacks were reported at Karak and Mitri Hotel, where military camps came under fire from unidentified assailants. In Musakhel, near Kole Suleiman, armed men reportedly detained several people at a checkpoint. The detainees were traveling from Balochistan to Faisalabad in Punjab. They are expanding their sphere of influence here. Next slide, please. A Pakistani force post at Notal in Dera Murad Jamali was severely attacked. Residents reported hearing gunfire and explosions from within the city during the incident. Additionally, a 36-inch gas pipeline running from Suyu to Dera Bukti to Karachi was destroyed by explosives planted at the Bashapur location, disrupting gas supplies to Karachi. Tomorrow, no dinner, no lunch. See, watch this fun. This is massive. The way the BLA has gone about doing these attacks. Next one, please. Reports from Balghatar indicate that armed men have established blockades of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor road between Tarbat and Panjgur, particularly at the Balghatar junction. These latest attacks appear to be part of BLA's Operation Herof. The BLA announced this operation on Sunday evening, which has involved a series of coordinated attacks across key locations in Balochistan. We're going to provide you with a bunch of references to go through those things so that you can get even more information about what has happened in Balochistan. Now, there is more coming. Next one, please. According to the group, its elite unit Majid Brigade has successfully infiltrated and attacked the central military camp in Bela. So infiltration has happened. There are not that many Baloches in the Pakistani army. And if there is any help, it must be coming from somebody else. By the way, I'm also hearing that Faiz Hamid could be sentenced to death. I don't know how the crime that he is supposed to have committed would warrant a death sentence. This is what I'm hearing. I hope I'm wrong about this, because whatever is going to happen to Faiz Hamid first will happen to Imran Khan next. Asim Munir is on a tear, but is this something that he is going to be able to control? That's the question. Next slide, please. Is United States dumping Pak? Remember, I told you that some other country appears to be helping BLA, right? Baloch Liberation Army. Okay, there are a few nominees. One could be India. One could be somebody else, also starting with the letter I. And why that somebody else with the letter I? Well, I can tell you that Pakistan has thrown its support behind Iran. And you saw how this country with the letter I, well, I'll say it now, Israel, has proactively gone and taken out the Hezbollah launching sites. Iran is under a fix now. It doesn't know what to do. So Israel is saying, okay, bring it on. Now, the other problem is, since Pakistan has said that it's throwing its support behind Iran, which means Munir has said that he is supporting Iran, Israel could have the hots for Munir also. Is he also on their list? If that is the case, it could be Israel which is supplying the satellite information as well as any other stuff like air information to the Baloch Liberation Army so that they can carry out their operations efficiently. Remember that Balochistan has a lot of natural resources. I've gone over this in detail. Recorded many mines. In fact, Elmer, in one of his hangouts with me, told about how much of the mining in Balochistan is all out in the open. You don't have to dig into the earth to get copper ore and things of that nature. So this is something that has been dangling like a carrot for everybody to want to invest in Pakistan, especially in Balochistan. So there are lots of reasons for why the Western countries as well as Israel might want to create a new Balochistan, recognize it, and give it all the support it requires. By the way, guys, as soon as 𝗤𝙑 𝗤𝘅 was uprooted and this Yunus fellow was put in as a temporary placeholder, the United States immediately recognized the new regime of Muhammad Yunus. Just take this thing. So US has decided that it will effect a regime change there. Now, what is happening in Pakistan? Pakistan is perhaps having a bigger problem on its hand, and I'll explain to you what that problem is. Next, please. The International Monetary Fund was supposed to have released 700 million or 800 million, one more tranche this month. And guess what? That did not get released. Now, why would the IMF not release the next tranche? Good question, right? Because after all, the Pakistan Army or ISI or together, they were the ones who did the hatchet job in Bangladesh. After all, they are the ones who have some feet on the ground. It was not US. It was not anybody else. So if that is the case, was Pakistan told A, B, C, and Pakistan in its own zealousness went and also did D, E, F, which is to turn on these goons, these radical goons on the innocent Hindus. And this, I don't think the US expected it. Probably there is a backlash because you saw how the West has reacted to what is happening in Bangladesh to Bangladeshi Hindus and other minorities. And now you have a real problem on their hands. So probably US might have told Asim Munir, maybe even twisted his ear and said, "You fool, why did you do this? Did Pakistan exceed its brief in Bangladesh? And what about the Hindus of America? Would they still go and vote for Kamala Harris, who is a Hindu in name only? Perhaps even not that, because she's always calling herself as a Jesuit. And look at what she took oath on when she became vice president. 2 Bibles, not 1, 2 for good measure. Not even 1 Gita. I would have thought, okay, at least if she had taken 2 Bibles and 1 Gita, after all, you can balance 3 books in your 2 hands, right? She didn't do that. So why would any Indian American want to vote for Kamala Harris? I wonder. So all this lead to the question, is the United States about to dump Pakistan again and then start breaking up and saying, okay, I've got something that I can take out of Balochistan. If I create a country there, go in and establish some sort of a good democratic government. We all know how the United States establishes democracies, and then get concessions for mining. Is that what is now cooking in the United States Department of State? You know, with these guys, these turkeys, anything is possible. Next. How did the Baloch Liberation Army know? There are 8 routes from Pakistan into Balochistan. And if you remember the press release that I read, they said they are controlling all 8. But that's only when they come to the border. In order to stop the convoys, they have to be prepared with the right kind of armor, armory, ammunition, what have you. How did they do that? That is the question. With Munir saying that Pakistan is aligning with Iran, is it possible that he also got on the list of Israel? I don't know. Is it Israel that is helping BLA with air and satellite intel? Question. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe one of you or 2 of you or more than that can answer by way of comments with references. Yes, Israel is the one that is helping BLA. I am reasonably confident it is not India. India's bureaucracy just doesn't move that fast, my opinion. Next one, please. Okay, so that's the end of the slide deck now. So I can tell you now that a lot of churn is happening. Okay, I'm sorry, I thought I had one more slide, and so there is one other. This is completely unverified. I've just got this information. In fact, we had to push out this conversation by 10 minutes because we were still gathering information. Is China trying to place 1 million Chinese in Balochistan? Remember, China had a deal with the outgoing or the previous chief of army, 𝗣𝗽𝗲𝗿, to mine from Rico Dick. And they were planning on creating the CPEC and then extending it all the way up to the mines so that they can take the whole thing by road. Is that what was tried? Well, BLA is alleged to have ambushed a bus carrying Chinese workers, killing 11 of them and injuring the rest. In a separate incident in Pak-occupied Kashmir, within a few hours, a similar attack was alleged to have happened, where 24 of the 36 Chinese workers have been killed. Remember, I told you that the Chinese have actually built an enclave in the city of Gilgit. I mean, this has been there for 5-6 years or even more than that. I remember releasing the video of how life looks like, because inside that enclave, there are only Chinese signs. Does that mean that China owns part of Gilgit? I mean, did Pakistan, who doesn't own Gilgit, sell it to China? Who's the more gullible person here, China or Pakistan? Anyway, it's India's property and it belongs to India. So is this the last slide or we have one more slide? That's it. So in conclusion, a lot happening in Pakistan. We thought that for the last couple of months there was some lull. Maybe there was, but now that US has sort of accomplished its goals, at least partially, in Bangladesh by unseating Sheikh Hasina and putting a puppet, maybe United States is trying to assess its positions. I can tell you, don't look at the situation coming out of the media in United States that Kamala Harris is running neck and neck with Trump. Look at the actions she is performing. That will tell you what is going on. By the way, she said no to Fox debate, but she said yes to ABC debate. In one of my previous hangouts, I got the two wrong, my mistake. So Fox is one that she refused. You know, this is all like, you know, guilt complex. It is believed that CNN gave the list of questions they were going to ask Hillary Clinton in the Clinton-Trump debates. Trump didn't have that advantage. I mean, this is supposed to be an open forum where the questions are going to be coming up on the fly. Nothing of that order happened. So maybe Kamala Harris thinks that she will get ambushed in Fox. Now there's only one more on the 10th of September at ABC. And we'll have to wait and see how that goes. There is one vice presidential debate that might happen before this, and we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Certainly, with Robert Kennedy throwing his weight behind the Trump campaign, see, everybody, Trump, Robert, everyone is now saying that the Democrats are planning to steal this election as well. Saying planning. They're not saying how. By the way, there's another big spanner in the works of the Democratic Party. The Supreme Court of Arizona, on a vote of 5-4, voted that citizenship is required to vote in Arizona. Now, as to how they are going to verify citizenship in postal ballots, I don't know. But at least those who go and vote, they will have to show proof of citizenship. Is this going to cover up that hole? I don't know, but they should actually ban. There is no pandemic now. So just don't take any postal ballots. You have to appear in person. The only postal that are allowed are overseas. Like, for example, military personnel who call Arizona home, who could be serving somewhere in the world. That is fine. That's been going on for a lot of years, and that's a very small percentage of the vote. So that's all I have for you. There are a few questions. I'd like to take them now, please. Manoj Soma wants to know, sir, I have done small research on abolition of income and asked AI, and also surprising, it suggested that it will definitely improve the demand side in India. How does it impact inflation? Your views. See, personal income, if you abolish that, that is going to take away 10 lakh crores of the money that is coming into the Indian coffers. When it was 4 lakh crores, people said that, you can license 2G, 3G, 5G, 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G, those things, and you can make up that money and use that. But I think that has already been taken and used elsewhere. So now, if you look at the different chunks that are bringing in money to the government, the fastest chunk is personal income tax. So I don't see them removing that. They will get their hits from middle class saying that you are robbing us blind, blah, blah, blah. But they are not going to, they've got their teeth into that. They're not going to let go of that. So if personal income tax is abolished, then that 10 lakh crores that the government will miss out will have to be made up elsewhere. Where do you think it will be made up? It will be taxing the consumption. Here you are taxing the income, right? Personal income tax, you're taxing the income. Instead of taxing the income, you would tax the expenditure, including perhaps houses. If somebody buys a house or sells a house, 1% tax, like GST, under GST, you could add that. If that happens, would that cover the 10 lakh crores? According to Professor R. Vaidyanathan, it does not. This is where the problem is. And also, I think the government is still sure that there are many who are still avoiding income tax. Therefore, they are going to be more aggressive to try and collect personal income tax from you so that they can get more money out of you to their treasury. So at least in the interim, this is not going to happen. Next question, please. Maithili Arand wants to know, Sree, even if IMF and US dumps Pakistan, Russia is supplying drones to Pakistan. What is this bonhomie? We don't know who's supplying whom, Maithili ji. Pakistan was supplying something to Russia. Russia is running out of people, weapons, arms, everything, and also access to high-end chip-making capabilities. So Russia is beginning to feel the pain of the war, and it is also, I've shown you a video in the morning where the Chinese appear to have started to come in, and there are talks between 18,000 to 150,000 Chinese troops that might be moving alongside Russia to fight the war in Ukraine. And I have some things that I've shown you, but this is what the internal equivalent of Twitter in China is reporting. And we hope that something like that doesn't happen. If China enters the war on Russia's side, believe me, this is world war. Next one, please. Thank you, Shashwat Singh. Sir, when will Pakistan disintegrate? It's already disintegrating right now. It's not going to be like one day everything is going to break into pieces. It's going to take some time. Next one. Mandala Raja wants to know, what is ontology, epistemology, and theology? How did British replace our OET framework with theirs? What constitutes ontology, epistemology, theology? Please explain in detail. Yeah, this is out of syllabus. We'll have to take a look at who is expert in this and bring that person on. Next question, please. Deepak Malhotra wants to know, I think USA is helping Baloch Liberation Army. They want China out of Balochistan. Entirely possible, Deepak ji, which is why I said that perhaps Israel is helping them with the intel. Next one. Aryabrata Das wants to know why we are not interfering there by providing financial support and logistics to the Balochistan freedom fighters as Pakistan are doing in J&K since more than 30 years. India is not built that way. We never go seeking wars. And if BLA wants a support, I thought that India would provide them like recognition, like the way US recognized Bangladesh. And if somebody else, houses their government in exile, then India might also support that. And I have not seen this happen yet. So we don't know, but it could lead to that. Next one, please. Ananda Gopalan Kidambi wants to know, why doesn't the BLA get support from Afghanistan? Will not Afghanistan exploit the situation? We believe that there is support from Afghanistan for the Baloch Liberation Army. And this is a surprising turn of events that Afghanistan thinks that Pakistan needs to be taken on. So that is the difference. Pakistan thought it could control completely Balochistan. Pakistan thought it could completely control Afghanistan, but it's not happening that way. Next one. D. Kalyan Raman wants to know, could you please elaborate on the present Bharat-Pakistan-Afghanistan geopolitics? Well, India is able to access Afghanistan through Chabahar port. there is a way to get around Pakistan. For some time, India was going through Pakistan, but now I think India is able to do that. This is where it helps being neutral. And Iran allows India to move out in Chabahar and on their road all the way up to Kabul. Some part of the road was laid by India, as a matter of fact, inside Afghanistan, all the way up to the Iranian border. So there is some help going on. Pakistan, I don't think Bharat is doing anything with them at this point of time, except perhaps getting ready to teach them a lesson they'll not forget. Next one. Monofsan wants to know, US opposes jihadis in Middle East but supports them in South Asia. Untenable dichotomy proven when Arab Osama moved to Afpak, thrived and did 9/11. If Hamas tie up with Haqqanis, etc., what will US do? Well, these are all transactional things. At this point of time, US is not at war with these people. It is the Israel that the country of Israel that is actually fighting the Hamas and now Hezbollah. US got dragged in because Houthis started taking pot shots and aim at US vessels. Next one, please. Bharati from South. Why the US, China and India are silent on this situation? Is it time that will change the world order? This situation meaning Balochistan, what can they say? We are telling you that some Chinese have also been killed. Baloch don't want them there. So it's a problem. And maybe US is happy that China has a problem. Next one. Murli Ram says, Sir, Swamy asserts it to be abolished. What is your view? Well, I just told you my view, right? My view is not important. What the government thinks is important. And like I said, this is the fastest growing segment for them to get money into the treasury. They are not going to let go of that so quickly. Next one. Saraswati M. Sarasa. Will war stop on the time to tackling on the time, sir? This is true, sir. I'm sorry, what you said, I don't make sense. Bharati from South. Yes, yesterday Israel attacked Lebanon and today BLA attacked Pak Army. Is there any coincidence? That's what I'm also wondering loud. Next one. And I think that brings us to a close of our questions, your questions to me. I hope I answered them faithfully. Now, we will make one request of you. Feel free to add in by way of comments, and if you find any reference links as you go through this video, and if you see additional information, to put in by way of comment and let people read that also. This is a complex, evolving situation in Pakistan, and it might easily spread to the neighboring countries. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.